Hello, this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. If the wind is crackling into the microphone, you know we're in southern Saskatchewan at Grasslands National Park. A great place. Come on, let's take a tour. We are just north of the American border in a pretty isolated country. In other words, don't get caught with an empty gas tank in this country. It is open country and big sky out here, but you can get turned around and disoriented like you were in the middle of a dark jungle. There are two separate blocks of land to Grasslands National Park, the East Block and the West Block, and they are several kilometers apart. Depending on which block you were in, you can find things like dinosaur fossil remains, circles of rock rings made by ancient people, they're teepee rings, and also remains of corrals and historic cattle operations. We are in the West Block right now, so let's stop in at the National Park office in the little town of Val-Marie. You can get oriented here. They have displays of some of the wildlife that you can see in the area, but you have to be around on the prairies for long enough. You won't see a rattlesnake every day, but they're there. The small burrowing owls and the long-billed curlews, unique birds. I was lucky enough to get a couple of live photos of these birds. Adult birds are about 30 centimeters tall, and their curved beaks are about 14 centimeters in males and longer in females, about 20 centimeters. They mate for life. In mating season, the male impresses the female by flying steeply upwards. Although they migrate south to California, Mexico, and Venezuela in the winter, they return to mate in the grasslands of Canada. Nests are built on the ground. Usually they lay 4 eggs, and both parents take turns incubating the eggs. If a predator like a coyote comes along, they give a shrill, loud cry, and a group of adults will mob the predator. Their favorite food is grasshoppers, but they will also eat beetles, spiders, and worms. At one time, the Great Plains was home to thousands of bison, and Grasslands National Park has been able to recover a herd of about 500 or 600. Deer are quite common. This is a white-tailed deer. See its white tail. These deer are a bit more skitterish and will take off quickly, more so than these mule deer here. The mule deer are called mule deer because of their large mule-looking ears. You won't see many of the wildlife on or near extinction, but Grasslands is one of the last homes for them, like for this black-footed ferret, or the tiny swift fox. More commonly seen inside and outside the national park are coyotes, or as the Americans say, coyotes. Also fairly common, you'll see pronghorn antelope, fastest animal in North America and in the world over a long distance. And absorbing the great night sky is another feature of Grasslands National Park. Birdwatching is also popular, particularly during the spring and fall migrations. There is a good gravel road through the West Block. It will take a couple of hours to drive it, or all day if you want to read the interpretive signs along the route, or and take maybe a short walk, or it'll take you several days if you choose to camp out and go on some of the more extended hikes. There is a variety of choices. Remember, We are on the bottom of an ancient sea, and ripples and water movement have created, over time, a rather rough washboard effect on some sections of the road. It even shook off the TV off the wall of my motorhome. But go slow, take it easy, and it's a good road, and you'll be all right. Whoa, look at here, a hitchhiker on the windshield, a grasshopper. They are around too. This prairie country can start to grow on you, but you have to be into it for a while. There's no mountains to fall off of, no bears to chase you, no sharks to eat you. There was a number of stops with nice signs, interpretive signs on them. Sometimes you had to walk a little ways, and the grass was thick. This is some of the planted grasslands that they've tried to restore right along this path, and you had to watch a little bit. Like I say, the paths were a ways out, and I wanted to read this one sign out there a ways, and I didn't want to step on a rattler along the way. And between me and the sign was a particularly bad spot. It was a wet area, kind of a good-sized creek, small river ran there, and the snakes tend to be around wet areas for the water. And so I heard that if you stomp, a snake has good ears, and they can tell the size of the animal coming. So I wanted that, if there was a snake there, I wanted that snake to know that there was a big animal coming. So I stomped. Maybe you can hear me stomping here. Does it work? Well, I don't know, but I can tell you I'm alive and well today. You think there'd be a snake down that crack? I watched my step. As you can see, the Grasslands is just not flat prairie. Grasslands National Park was established to save and restore our natural grasslands and the rich environment it provides for wildlife and ultimately for us humans. Over 3/4 of Canada's prairie has fallen victim to concrete, human construction, and destruction for growing crops and producing livestock. Native seeds from over 20 natural original plants, like sagebrush, for example, have been planted. Sagebrush has enabled recovery of the rare species, threatened sagebrush grouse. This is but one example of how restoring a natural environment creates a habitat for natural and original life to return. Also, flood-prone areas have been restored as well. We are going past Prairie Dog Town. These near-extinct black-tailed prairie dogs are almost twice the size of the smaller Richardson ground squirrels, but both are highly social, living and playing in their dog towns. Farmers and ranchers don't care much for them, as their many holes are some danger to cattle or horses who might step in them, but actually seldom do. They are at the bottom of the food chain, providing nourishment for coyotes, badgers, and birds of prey like hawks and eagles. Well, that is a little piece of Saskatchewan. It's not all of Saskatchewan. We've got other videos in this same playlist. So take a look at those. Hit the subscribe button, and that will tell you when we're doing more videos and putting them on the internet. And we're going to different places. We're rolling. I like to tell stories about the places that we visit. And to find what those might be, just Google, like it says there in the bottom, the little @ sign at Don Barnett 5090. Click on my name first. Then hit the word playlist in the middle of the page and scroll down. Each playlist contains several travel videos.